Duke Dennis just caught a new charge that might end his career. So back in August, AMP were doing a 30 days of summer content run, and they were staying in Tony Park's estate doing daily live streams. It was a very, very fun period, and there was a lot of great content that came out of that as well. Now, Duke Dennis and the other AMP members got permission to film a hide and seek event at the shops at the River Center, a shopping mall, and of course they had permission for specific areas within specific hours as well, so there was nothing wrong with that. What was wrong with the situation is that they actually broke the rules and went past the boundaries. They started filming in areas they weren't supposed to, and they stayed on the property after the mall had actually closed. So now an officer called Don White now approaches them and tells them directly that you have to leave. It's standard stuff, and he was just doing his job. And one of the security members from AMP decides to punch the guy in the face. Now, this is insane because we tend to see that a lot of streamers, again, they go all out to try and do content and give their fan bases a lot of amazing content. And whenever they're filming in private areas is okay. The public areas is where there seems to always be issues because the streamers, of course, they want to get their content done, but of course, people are living their regular life. Some people don't want to get filmed, and also these public spaces, they have their own rules, hence why they don't allow people to film in specific areas, especially on their property past closing times as well. That's just breaking the law. So I don't really understand as to how it escalated to this part, but hey man, I guess the security guard was just a utter crash out, and this is what ended up happening. And this situation is similar to when Yona and Ben the Don were actually in a shopping mall doing their content, and all of a sudden the security guard then asked them to kindly leave and they crash out.
Alright, just ignore them.
Yeah. Bro, what is you calling shit in for? Saggy outfit wearing that nigga. Kiss my ass, I don't give a damn. Man, get your ugly ass on somewhere.
Yeah, no, we don't have to be nice. You don't always, life's not about always being nice.
This just tends to be the behavior of a lot of streamers. Again, streamers, they're trying to do content and make a living because this is what they do full time. And the security guards as well, they're trying to make a living. They're not making as much as the streamers, of course, but they still got to make sure that they're doing what they need to do. If not, they'll get fired and their life will go to ruin. So it's just a general behavior with streamers. It just happened to be that the AMP security guard was just an utter crasher. I don't understand as to why he decides to punch the guy in his mouth, but hey man. Now Duke gets arrested for criminal trespassing and also evading the arrest. Those charges were eventually dismissed after he completed a program, but Clark, the security guard, is the one that's actually facing the felony charges because it's 2 counts of assault on a peace officer and 1 count of assault on a security officer, and of course those are still pending.
No way. So it just came out that Duke Dennis, one of the AMP members, have just been arrested. Now, the reasoning, a lot of people saying behind the reasoning is childish, and it doesn't make any sense. Apparently, Duke and Kai was doing a stream together where they was playing in the mall and playing hide and go seek. Apparently, while playing that game, Texas police was called. The reasoning of call, it is for sure. But a lot of people are saying since Duke is so old, he should not have been playing games anyways. And if you ask me, I don't see, as long as he wasn't breaking any crimes, I do not see what was wrong with him just playing hide and go seek with his friend in the mall. But if you asking me, it doesn't look like these charges really going to stick. He was just in the mall playing a game with his friend. He wasn't being physical with anybody. And you know Kysonet had the lawyers on speed dial.
After all of this happened, Duke Dennis actually had to spend some time behind bars, and when he got out, this was the first thing that he actually said.
I know, you know what I'm saying, y'all want to hear about like the whole jail, but to be honest, I can't even talk about it. Like, what I can say is like the whole thing was just a big misunderstanding, miscommunication mostly. Like the thing about us, bro, the thing about me, bro, I'm not the type of content creator. That's gonna like risk my freedom for the content. Content ain't that deep for me. Like, it's not that deep to me. It never will be. Like I said, this shit was a big ass misunderstanding, big ass miscommunication.
To be honest, Duke Dennis has never struck me as a problematic person. In fact, he's one of the few streamers that tend to kind of avoid drama at all costs. He tends to be someone that wants to motivate his audience and is not them type of fake motivational kind of content creators and streamers where one day they will try to promote being peaceful or getting to the bag, etc. The next day they're out there crashing and talking about things like politics and things that have nothing to do with them. But anyways, we have to realize that Duke Dennis and this entire situation, it seemed to be a whole mistake, and the security guard that crashed out, he was trying to do his job. The bodyguard that crashed out on the security officer, obviously he was trying to do his job, and it ended up becoming a small incident that ended up getting blown out of proportion. Now, the security officer that got injured, he now decides to file a $1 million lawsuit against AMP, specifically Duke Dennis. And this is to cover the medical expenses and also him being out of employment, because he's been out of employment for such a long period of time, so he ended up losing his job. Now, when you're now messing with people's livelihoods, even though, yes, Duke Dennis is an unproblematic streamer, he has to take accountability for his actions and what his security guard has also done, because the guy was trying to defend you as a client. And as a business owner, you have to take accountability for some of your employees' actions, especially when it's leading to people losing their jobs, their employment, their livelihoods, and it can actually affect his life for the rest of, you could say, foreseeable future. And you can see that a lot of people share the same sentiment as well. People literally saying that he hopes that the guy is able to win the $1 million lawsuit, and now people shouldn't necessarily be messing with people's livelihoods. So it's a similar sentiment that I have, whether I support Duke Dennis outside of this, because again, like I mentioned, he's a decent content creator. He has to own up to this. Now, I don't know whether the guy's going to be able to win $1 million. That's a lot of money. And yeah, Duke Dennis has it, but hopefully his lawyer is also able to come to an agreement that can make the guy happy enough, but also won't necessarily bleed Duke Dennis's pockets too much. To be honest, I hope that the guy's able to win some sort of money from this, especially with his life being affected so much. What do you guys generally believe, like, and think as well? Because I'm curious. Again, streamers need to be entertaining. They want to be able to please their fan bases, but at the same time, like, it just seems as if though they're just becoming a bit more extreme as the years keep on going on, and especially with the rise of, you could say, risky content now starting to take popularity, especially with people's TikTok brains, and it being so hard to not only build an audience but also to keep an audience. People are now going to different extents. Now, this wasn't Duke Dennis's intention, but this is what the fans want from other streamers alike, and hence why I feel as if though the streamers kind of take offense when they're getting told to get out of these places and not actually shoot content in the public areas. But I don't know, you guys let me know down below. I'm very, very curious to understand what's going on. Other than that, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Shout out to everybody living in San Antonio. Look at like, bro.